Google recently released version 1.5 of the Gemini model and it looks powerful. I recently got access to Gemini 1.5 and wanted to see what it could do. But before I do that, let's go over the basics, such as what is Gemini? Gemini is Google's latest multimodal large language model. So what the heck does that mean? Well, it means that it's a large language model, but it handles not only text inputs, but also things like code, images, and video. So you can feed it text, code, image, and video, and it'll process those, and we can ask Gemini questions about those items or have it work with them. Things like create a summary of this video, translate this sign to English, or ask it where does the car explode in the video. Another interesting feature of Gemini is the use of the Mixture of Experts, or MOE architecture. This is a series of models put together that becomes experts at various tasks. This diagram shows the architecture. When Gemini is trained with its massive set of training data, certain areas of the network learn how to handle different inputs. That is, those areas become expert on various inputs. And there is a gating network which learns that which experts are best learned to handle specific features of an input. So when we enter our prompt, the trained Gemini model will have the best experts process the various parts of the prompt. And this results in a better response since the appropriate experts are responding, and potentially generates the response faster since only parts of the network are required to create the response. Because there are different needs, Gemini comes in different sizes. Ultra, which is the very large and most powerful version, handles big tasks. Pro is a general model that will meet many users' requirements. And Nano is a small, lightweight version designed to be used on mobile devices and embedded devices. We'll be using Pro version 1.5, the general model that will meet many people's requirements. With Gemini 1.5 Pro, we can process up to 1 million tokens, and that's a lot. 5 times more than most large language models out there. And it roughly translates to 900 pages of text, 2.5 hours of audio, and over an hour of video. You can access Gemini in various ways. There's an API which can be called from your code, with support available for most languages. Another way is through various Google applications. These applications make it easy to get started with Gemini. We'll use the googleaistudio application in the rest of this video. So that's enough talk about Gemini 1.5 features. Let's launch googleaistudio and see what we can do. Let's get started by launching Google AI Studio for Gemini 1.5 at googleaistudio.google.com. And you're greeted with this interface. On the left, you can see a list of previous sessions. In the center, we have our window where we enter our prompt and the model responds. Let's try something simple. Let's have it create a shopping list for a 10-year-old's birthday party. It thinks about it for a moment and then eventually produces a nice shopping list, complete with the items for a main course, sides, snacks, and drinks. It also has party supplies that we should remember to pick up, including things we want to use for various activities. In addition, there are some considerations that we might want to take into mind while we're going out and buying things for the guests. In summary, it is providing what you'd expect from a modern LLM. Now, it could be a little more creative, but if you look at the right, you can see that the temperature control is disabled in this earlier version. So you can't set the model to be more creative, but no doubt that will be enabled soon. So notice the section at the top. Gemini is multimodal, so in addition to a text prompt, it can also handle images, video, files, and entire folders of input. So let's try out these multimodal capabilities. Let's start by finding a picture of a train status board in Spain. And then when we run that model, it reads one line on the board talking about the train to Barcelona. But what I really like to do is get the data in a tabular format. And we can do this with one line. It's looking through the sign and finding out all the various things. And look here, it produces a completely columnar output. And we could easily feed this into another application and use it for whatever purposes we wanted. Pretty cool, huh? Now let's see what we can do with videos. Let me play this video from Tesla showing an early test of their self-driving system in action. And wow, there's a lot going on the screen. You can see all sorts of numbers and displays being updated. I have no idea kind of what's going on here. And oh, I guess we're driving through a street now. Wow, look at all that. It's finding all these little pieces in the scene, like the stop signs and what have you not. And it's waiting for cars and it's not running into them, which is really good. So this is a pretty complex video with a lot of information going on. But I have no idea really what all that was about. But maybe Gemini can figure that out for us. Okay, so let's do this. We'll now load that video into Gemini. So it'll take it a moment to do that. And I'm going to hit the run prompt. And now it's going ahead and loading the model. And then it's come back and said, hey, this is what I see. There's a video of a car driving through the city. Cars that trip the self-driving system. You can read that as well as I can. Well, that's cool. It read through all that and then said, this is what's going on. But I have some questions about the video. Oh, and I misspelled colored. Let's see if it can figure that out too. And it's gone through it. Blue boxes might represent vehicle, red boxes might represent pedestrians, and so on and so forth. Pretty cool. But it's a self-driving car. Here's the big question. Let's ask it to take an opinion of it and take a look. And it says that it appears to be doing that. It's doing what you expect. It's stopping at stop signs. It's not running over people. All the good things that you'd hopefully have a self-driving car do. Let's say we wanted to analyze some of the data. Can we do that? If we were an engineer looking at this data, we might want to do that so we could analyze how its stopping behavior works. So hopefully it'll be able to identify those times. It says it does it at a very 0.2 time step and things like that. So that's pretty good, but I think it actually missed some. So let's force it to look back through the data in a more analytic form. Let's see, it said, yes, there were other times. You got to watch these models. They'll try to cheat on you. It said there was at 14 seconds, also at 27 seconds. And I've looked through this, and I know that's correct. In general, I'm pretty impressed by how well this early version of Gemini Pro 1.5 is working. It's amazing how fast these large language models are advancing. They're not only great at responding to text prompts, but can also work with media we produce. And this makes large language models much more powerful tools. I can't wait till Gemini 1.5 becomes available, and we can get access to the nano version on phones and other small devices. And we can see what the big Pro version can really do with massive amounts of data. So be sure to like this video and subscribe to see additional videos on Gemini and machine learning and AI. I plan on covering both Gemini Nano running on a small device and Gemini Pro running in Google Cloud.